2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Northbridge or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.
This is Shaun Sport in podcast form.
Well, we did promise you the great man, Matthew Pavlich. There has been rumours, as Natalie said. I think there's a whole lot of truth behind the fact that he is coming out of retirement. Let's ask the big fella now. Morning, Pav.
Morning, Shorty. Can you believe it?
About time.
Well, Shaun's always firmly believed that he should be behind glass down at the Fremantle Football Club and that he break in case of emergency.
Yeah,
and they bring him back. But, I mean, you even more so.
Oh, for sure.
They're talking about contending. They're talking about flags. So, I just thought I'd take the long road and journey back to playing. But unfortunately, it won't be for the mighty Dockers. I actually still don't know. I'm going back in the draft, which is the Carlton draft.
Yes.
Is your mum having any say in where you go?
That's right.
Well, if she could, she would, your mum. But no, it'll be somewhere in WA. So the Carlton draft has been exclusively in the East Coast, or particularly Victoria, the last couple of years. It's the first time that a local footy club gets a chance to draft me and a couple other former AFL players, both in New South Wales and here in WA. So great opportunity for the local club to enter the competition. They draft a former player, and then the player, me, 9 years after retirement, comes out and plays a game, and hopefully they get a whole heap of people down there, raise some funds for the club and have a great day.
This is going to be a team that's probably had little success over a fair period of time.
I mean, classically, that's who you want to see, right? It's somebody that one of the easy beats in the competition. Finally, they draft, a centre-half forward that can actually kick a goal.
I don't know why they're putting their hopes in someone who's 43 and can hardly run anymore.
Some of these country clubs, though, you would not be the oldest person on the field. You know what I mean?
No, look, and that's right. Look, this is one about potentially having a bit of success and getting a win for a club that might have been struggling for a little while. But more importantly, it's about actually bringing some of these communities together and raising some funds. I know. Your local footy club, whether it's your kids or the local ammo club, you're always looking to hopefully raise some funds for
get some money across the bar.
For the bar, or to buy the jackets for the weekend, to buy the witches hats, whatever it is. So it's a good opportunity, and there's some cracking players coming out this year. I know 3 of us are being revealed effectively today. Tom Hawkins, former Geelong great full forward. He's getting out there.
He's newly retired too, so he's still in baseball, really.
That whoever lands him has got a good one. I'm not so sure about me, as I said earlier. But Brett Delidio is the other one. And there's 2 others. I can't say exactly who, but I think there might be another West Australian-based player as well, and potentially from the other team that I used to not so much like, the one that you like, Nat.
So what you're saying is it's not Shaun McManus? No. That's weird.
No.
Well, no, it won't be Shaun. I mean, he's still recovering from his epic effort last week of the Rothers.
Absolutely. Now, Pav, I'm really excited about this. This is fantastic stuff. We've seen in the past, though, so Nathan Buckley, he rolled out, I think he was number 1 draft pick a couple of years ago. He rolled out, blew a calf almost straight away. I'm scared for Brett Delidio because that kind of finished his career, was the calf situation. So take that out of it. What are you doing at the moment to prepare for this epic comeback?
Yeah, so I'm still waiting on an exact. You know how these things work. You reverse engineer it, right? So I'm waiting for the date of the game, which they're saying somewhere between May and August. So I'm going to start pre-season. I'm going to, pre-season's going to sort of rewind back to that. But the fact of the matter is, Shawnee, I'm doing nothing at the moment. I have to get moving. I need to do a little mini pre-season. So, the runs, the repeat efforts, the gym. I'm going to have to get moving. So,
Pav, you won't need to. You will stand at centre half forward. They will kick it to you. You'll just mark it over the top of some guy. You're not going to run around.
Just mention Nathan Buckley, mate. You don't want to just go out there and just do one half a lead like the big Mav, and all of a sudden
he wouldn't even have to lead. He'd just stand there, put his hands up. Come on.
I'm not so sure about that now. I think footy's actually a pretty hard game.
I've seen country footy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. Bucks, you're right. I spoke to him about this only 2 weeks ago, Shaun, at the Fox Footy season launch, and he said he felt terrible because he said he knew he was a bit dodgy leading in, so he went down on the Thursday night to training just to get around the boys and get around the team to make sure that, they got a little bit of a bit of Bucks and a bit of his time because you're right, 5 minutes in, the first kind of lead he went for, he pinged his I think it was his calf or his hammy, and he was done for the game. Lee Montagna a couple of years ago did his groin. I think Lloydie, shanked a couple, and then I think he injured himself as well. So I'm going to have. I mean, the good news is the bar's low.
That's true.
So I can hopefully I can get a kick.
Well, mate, you're going to have to go down to the Oval down the road from your house and do a few laps, but also the hill run that we used to do at the back of Swanbourne, up that track and around.
No, look, I'm aware of this. I need to get moving. I might have to hire I've got a physio in my wife, Lauren. So
yes, exactly.
Starting point. But you're right. I need a PT or I need to get moving. Look, I am still keeping fit. I'm still going for a couple of jobs a week, and
you're not coming from nowhere. Yeah.
I'm not coming from nowhere, but like to actually, play a full game of footy. And I hear what you're saying now, that you stand there and blah blah blah. But no, I think there's a little bit more to it. So I'm gonna have to get moving into a pre-season. But I want to do it while this weather's so nice.
Yeah.
Before it gets cold and that. So,
yes. Well, it's not too hot and not too cold. Yeah, exactly.
I haven't played for a long time, but the last charity event I played in, because it's all good on paper, right? And in my mind, I'm fit as fiddle. I'm going to run out this thing. I didn't realise how long a game goes for when you're not, you haven't played for ages. Like when's this thing ever going to end?
But no, you're spot on. And so last year I played there was a charity, mental health charity match at Leaderville Oval about this time last year. And I played on a guy called Alex Rance, who had only just retired and who took it so seriously. It was anyway, and you forget how much you have to run off ball, which means, so if the ball's on, particularly if you're playing forward or back, if the ball's on one side of the oval and you've, made a contest on the other side, how much you have to actually run, 150, 160 metres or so to just be in a position to potentially contest the next ball. It's these things you forget and you get a great appreciation for once it's all over.
Pav, I do have fond memories of going to Adelaide to watch my colleague Shaun McManus play in the EJ Whitten Legends match. And, he got heaps of touches. In fact, on the commentary, they accused him of trying too hard. But then he needed surgery on his knee immediately after that. Do you have a surgeon on speed dial, or have you booked your flights to Qatar to go to Aspetar already?
Yeah. Well, look, maybe that's the trick beforehand. Go to Aspetar like everyone else and get it done that way. Yeah, no, I touch wood, my major kind of issues, my hips and my back. Yeah. And I mean that seriously because it's a whole pain. But no, I've started my campaigning to a couple of surgeons. Red wine is normally the way I do it. But I'll have to get that.
You've probably got a surgeon.
So what did you have, like a clean out or?
I tore my cartilage when we were playing the game. All of a sudden I was like, well, this is a bit next level. And I was thinking, in my mind, I was just having fun because most people were unfit. So
yes, that's right. You've got one over
around and my idea, I remember Andrew Embley was saying, just give me a kick when you can because I was able to run around more than most people. And Hayes was the same. But I hurt myself straight in for surgery days afterwards.
I'm just hoping what happens, because you're back to a local footy club. From memories, a local footy club, there's very little kind of assistance on the medical side, very little assistance on the strapping or preparation side. So I hope whoever we're playing, one, doesn't take it too seriously, like Shawnee, like you did, and two, they've got a nice cold beer for us afterwards because it's going to be a solid one. I'm looking forward to
a hard-earned first, you might say.
No doubt about it. Pav, just before we let you go, I just want a bit of a comment on Fremantle's extension with Justin Longmuir. Extension of sorts?
Yeah, well, an ongoing employment agreement, which we're all looking for at some level, aren't we? So good on him for that. I think what it does is help Justin just get on with coaching, and but he'll have to perform. So there's obviously some clauses in the contract that are good for him in terms of performance based. If they make finals, if they go on and win a flag or whatever. There's some. I assume there'd be some great incentives in there for him on that basis. But equally, I'm sure there's some clauses and some ability if things go south and the team doesn't play that well as early as this year, that they can terminate. So on one hand, it's a good thing. On the other hand, it's probably raised and asked a lot of questions of the contract and what it means, of the employment agreement and what it means going into the future. But the long and the short of it means that they get along well, as in the coach and the club are on the same page about where they're going. But he has to perform, and the club has to perform. Otherwise, it'll be game over for him.
Yep, absolutely. Pav, good luck for this. We'll follow your journey.
Oh, yes,
with Carlton
we're on
Draft.
board.
Can't wait to see what happens, who you play for. And I dare say we'll be getting behind you in this one for sure.
Yeah, let's come on. Let's
even I'll barrack for you, Pav.
Make a big crowd.
Yeah.
Well, I know you love us, Nat.
Love you, Egg. Thanks, mate. We'll catch up soon.
Shaun Sport in podcast form.
2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Inaloo or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.
Well, there was news coming out of Fremantle's hub yesterday with Justin Longmuir and the club coming to terms with a new employment agreement, Natalie Locke.
So what you're saying there is not the word contract.
No.
Talk me through this, because this isn't normal for an AFL coach.
Well, it's happened twice before.
Has it?
And those 2 people have lost their jobs.
Okay. Not a great sign.
I think in this point of time, it is the absolute right call for Fremantle to go down this track, either with this setup, which is ongoing employment contract, which a lot of people have.
There's no fixed term. It's not like he signed a 3-year contract, which gives him some protection. It's basically what a lot of people have in their jobs, but they're not jobs that are quite as high stress and and volatile. But so where you just turn up and your employment agreement is ongoing.
Yes, that is absolutely correct.
Until your boss says it's not.
The only other thing that they could have done was signing to a 1-year extension.
No, that's not true. They could have put him just on as a casual.
Or a casual.
Gets paid by the hour for the hours that he turns up.
Oh, my God. Justin's rates on an hourly contract would be through the bloody roof. Those AFL coaches, by the way, they put in about 100 hours a week.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
He's on minimum wage, though, so,
So I was... Sam, who's pressed some buttons for us this morning, I have a conversation. This has been ongoing for me and my friendship group, who are former Dockers players, about what the football club are going to do with Justin's. My opinion, late last year and certainly earlier this year, was that the club needed to extend his contract by a year, in my opinion, so that all the noise of contract talk goes out the door. We've seen what's happened with Ken Hinkley over at Port Adelaide.
For sure.
Get rid of that straight away. But nobody needs to know the terms and conditions. But in the terms and conditions, clearly you have markers. And if you don't live up to the markers, tear the contract up and you're out of here. No problem at all. We can all move on. This is kind of the same. There are markers in his in this employment agreement. So both parties, either Justin gets to stay on for a period of time, or that the Fremantle Dockers go, sorry, you didn't make the 8 or you didn't make the 6 or whatever the case is, and we can move on to a. But it means that
they can end him at any time, basically.
Well, not really. There is a period that he has to be given notice.
Yeah, but presumably that's what? 2 weeks, 4 weeks?
Oh, yeah, I'm not sure.
So, and by notice, that would just mean pay him out, because
Yeah.
Giving notice just means that, he wouldn't still have to do the job, for example. They're going to, if they were to replace him, knife him in the back and replace him, then they're not having to pay out a year's worth of salary. That protects them. But what protects him? Nothing. What's in it for him?
What's in it for him?
He gets to keep working.
I'm sure, Natalie, he'll have that contract paid out. So that yearly paid out in
As
full
part of
would be his only protection.
Yeah.
But that's okay because you've got to get the runs on the board.
Yeah, I know.
He's in a situation where he's going into his 6th year as the coach. Everybody,
Is it 6 years?
Yeah.
Has he been there that long?
Yeah, and everybody knows that the Fremantle Dockers team is very good at this stage and coming into the right profile for the next run.
You're in your
successful period.
Yeah, successful window. The window is open. The window is open.
The window's open. They always talk about that.
The window. Your premiership window.
I used to get so angry about that.
About the window being open?
Oh.
Never leave the window open or the aircon goes out.
Bloody hell. Stop with the window. Anyway, let's hear from Justin himself.
I kept coming back to my purpose as a coach and person and my purpose in this job. And really why I do this job is firstly to support my family. Secondly, but just as importantly, to bring success to the Freo family. I'm feeling really comfortable about where we've landed. I think, as Garlo mentioned, it benefits both parties. Hopefully we can get past it and move on and start focusing on footy.
The one thing that people, and getting back to kind of what you're talking about, where's the benefit for Justin? Well, he's got a contract for next year and he's going to be employed. He gets to keep the noise at bay, and certainly that affects family and kids going to school and that we probably never think about and put in the mix.
That's right.
But also, the contract is based on you get things going and you hit the levels that you should be. There's going to be no conversation.
Yeah, that's right.
There's no conversation. So it's up to you to be able to drive this football club forward. It's on you.
It's a weird time to be talking about coaches' contracts, given we're 2 weeks from the start of the season.
Well, no doubt that they might have thought about that, and it's probably been done and dusted for a couple of weeks. They've held it off for this period of time, but it might have been a discussion over a couple of months. And I'm sure that the board would have got together and thought, okay, how are we going to go about this? Because before the start of the season, all the media are going to start focusing on Justin. And what happens if they lose the first 2 games, right? So they played Geelong away, which is
tough.
Unbelievable.
Tough in any season at any time.
Yep.
Yes.
Then they play Sydney at home, which is the team that's played in the grand finals. Like, how many times have they been in the finals?
Yes.
The last 10 years. So it's really, really, really tough start. And they want to make sure that they put that noise at bay. Because if Fremantle loses...
So it's a preemptive strike is what you're saying.
Yeah, no question about it.
Yeah.
So Simon Garlick was asked about the fact, can they get rid of Justin at any stage? And this is what his thoughts were.
Regardless of the contract type, whether it's a fixed-term agreement or an ongoing employment arrangement that we've settled on, we're in a performance-based industry. So clearly performance, along with a whole host of factors, is a critical element of determining decisions that are made. We're always going to be measured on our performance. And it's not just Justin, it's the entire club.
So, yes.
Yeah, 100%.
In summary, yes.
It's really, when you move out of elite sport like that and it's performance-based industry into other workplaces, it's really strange. It's very tough to get fired from most workplaces.
Yeah, that's right.
Really
that's
tough.
right. You have to be managed out or, there's a performance management process that happens before that, 100%. Rather than you just being dropped. You've been dropped from the team this week.
Well, being dropped, and then you get to the end of the season and at least 20% of your team, like here, 20% of your team, they're gone.
Yeah.
They get walked in. Thanks for coming. We really appreciate your time. Give us your pass.
Good luck, young man. Here's your box.
Go over to the next person in HR.
Yeah.
On your way.
It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah. And it's brutal. And that's why they're well rewarded financially, and why there's a lot that goes with it. But the downside is it's a very volatile industry if you're not at the highest echelon.
Yeah, Ross Lyon used to always talk about that's why I get paid the danger money.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's true.
Yeah. Because
the next day you get.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Your job's gone.
Every year there's a story about a coach being sacked, and sometimes unexpectedly. That's how Ross Lyon got the job at Fremantle in the first place. Mark Harvey was axed, and that was a massive surprise to everybody.
Yeah, it was a really big surprise, especially me. I was at Harvey Norman at the time. My brother rang me, and I just left the club with Mark. And I had no idea.
That's awkward, but you did drop down and buy your TV, right?
No, I got pillows. That's what I was there for. I remember clearly. You know those things you remember in life?
Yeah, very clearly.
Shaun Sport in podcast form.
Well, it's always great to have the great Caitlin Bassett in the house. I didn't know where I was going to start.
You're nervous because her dad's here.
Yeah, I know. Mike's got the phone on me at the moment. It's never happened before. Seabass, we wanted to check in and see how pre-season's going with you and where you're at.
Do you know what? I've been doing a little bit of match sim. We've been doing match sim at training. We had selection. I haven't done a selection game in such a long time because we have a practice match against Curtin this weekend. So
like Thursday night selection kind of vibes.
Yes, so Wednesday night is selection for us, except we did it on Monday. So it was a little bit nerve-wracking, but
did you get picked?
Had to roll through the ruck. I'm not sure yet. I'll find out tonight.
Oh,
training.
okay, right.
Okay.
Had to roll through the ruck again, which I've kind of been feeling out the way that it's going to work with me, my old knees, and who I'm playing against, but I'm definitely getting the hang of it more. It's a lot of fun, and the girls around me, like the midfielders, holy moly, they do a buttload of work out there. I'm starting to appreciate that. So
a lot of running, obviously. Did you say that you've got an injury? You've picked up an injury?
Well, my shoulder has been niggly from doing this because I'm not used to tapping a ball.
It's a new action for you.
I'm used to grabbing a ball and ripping it in, which is fine, but tapping it in like a really awkward position.
Yes.
It's a little bit niggly, and so I need to get a physio going. I think that's what I've been lacking is the massage, the physio, all the other things that when I was playing netball was just a part of
daily life. You had access to,
Yeah, so now when I wake up in the morning and I'm like crawling to the toilet, I'm like, oh, what's wrong with me? I'm old and I don't have a physio.
I'll take the opportunity. We still have Mike Bassett in here, Caitlin's father. Mike, what do you think about Caitlin having a crack at football this season?
Yeah, no, good on her. I think she's maybe a little bit old for it.
So rude.
She's left her run a bit late, but no, good on her for having a crack. No, she's got a good attitude. She'll do well.
You looking forward to going along to the Perth Demons and watching her get out there and play?
Of course, yeah, because her netball club, her original netball club was associated with Demons. They are the South East Metro Demons, yeah. So Demons is in our blood from way back, yeah.
Yes, remember we used to do the fashion parades back in the day. We used to do fundraising and we used to get the boys team involved and they'd do a fashion parade.
Yeah, the Eagles boys would come down
out and
right.
Stuff, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So no, it's been good. But lots happening in footy. There's 2 last practice matches happening this weekend. Eagles are going to be playing, Dockers are going to be playing their selection, I guess, for round 1, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a big deal. There's a few people that everyone's fighting for spots at this time of year, and you kind of it's a tough one because there's people who are going to obviously miss out. And then at the start of the season, you're going into the year with it really dents your confidence because you may have had a really big time pre-season and then you're not selected and you're just like, oh, he doesn't love me anymore. The coach.
And because the situation has changed from the previous season. So whereas you might have been a walk-up start before, there's new players have been recruited.
Yes.
There's draftees that are showing amazing promise and you go, oh, am I still in the hunt?
And in the case of Eagles, it's a new game plan. Like it's completely new game plan that they're playing. Right. So where do you fit into that game plan? I think there's been a little bit of talk about some of the young players at clubs getting injured. We've seen some ACLs. SSP window got extended, so players could teams could top up their list, and it is a hard time of the year. And Shawnee, you know better than anyone, is you're breaking your balls out there. You're out there because you want to show you deserve a position and a spot. And when you get injured, it's absolutely devastating because you can't do anything more, can you?
No, you can't do anything more. And we just saw young Jager Smith, is it? That did his ACL for Carlton. Heartbreaking stuff. But I was also saying one of the things you need to do in these circumstances is just hang in there. And one particular year that I was way out of favour the previous year, the way it ended, I think I missed the last 7 or 8 games. I was put into the waffle. But the whole pre-season, I only got spasmodic time to play,
right.
And then someone got injured in the 2 weeks before, and we only had 1 scratch match left. And I went and fronted the coach at that stage and said, "Can you play me in? I'm playing. I knew I was
playing. Put me in, coach.
Yeah.
Put me in."
Well, because a lot of the guys were going to be rested, right? So Pav didn't play in that game. I can remember that. But I just said, just play me in the midfield because I knew if he gave me an inch and an opportunity that.
You would seize that run with it.
Because the door was open, and you never know when that opportunity will open. It might be for some guys playing for Fremantle this weekend because there'll be an extended bench, I'd imagine. You just got to hang in there as long as possible.
Those opportunities are 2 and far between. Lastly, Taron Thomas, would you have him at the Sharks?
I don't think I would have entertain him coming over at all. No, he's, we're looking for recruits. You want to make your team as good as possible. Who's out there? He's not a name that would have come across me.
For people who don't know the story, did you want to run us through it? Because not everybody's familiar with the Taron Thomas story.
Yes. Taron Thomas is a guy who played for North Melbourne, quite a talented young man, but then he was charged for abusing his partner physically.
Yep, so domestic violence
Domestic violence, yep. The AFL suspended him for a fair chunk, actually. It might have been the rest of the season from then on.
18 games, so he got an 18-game suspension. He's been in rehab, been doing these programs
counselling
and education since then. AFL have banned him from playing in AFL for 2025 and also for any of their affiliate clubs in VFL, but he can play for a non-affiliated club. So I think there was like 5 VFL teams he could have played for. One team passed him up last week. They went to
Northern
the board.
Bull Ants, it was.
And the board said, nah, too much drama. We're going to lose sponsors. There's already been anarchy, so no, we don't want him. And he's come over for a trial with Swan Districts.
Yeah, so getting back to my view straight away, it wouldn't even come across my mind, so that wouldn't have even been a conversation. But where is it that, for Swan District's point of view, they're saying they are going to give this human being an opportunity to redeem himself.
A second chance, yeah.
So where do you... I mean, the question is,
and if
where
he
do you sit
has
on
been
that?
doing that rehabilitation stuff, that is a step in the right direction. But also the flip side of that is, there are victims of his violence that still are traumatised by that. You go, why does he get the opportunity to go back and play football? But then if that's his only trade per se, should he be prevented? It's tricky, and it is sporting clubs. There's a PR angle to what they do as well.
How do you measure somebody's redemption along the journey? Because that's what a lot of that would come down to. Okay. Yes. He's been doing the courses, he's been doing this. What has he actually learned?
Yes.
How can he show that he's learned and reformed his behaviour and, in fact, is going to champion against the stuff that he used to do? And therefore we allowed him to play football and he gets back into the system and he turns his whole life around. I don't know how you measure that.
I mean, that's the best outcome. That's what you're hoping for, but it's not. It's just not always the case.
No, it's not guaranteed.
And so it's a massive gamble.
I think a big start with him to come out publicly and say that he's remorseful. He has not made any statements to the media. Also, playing AFL or getting paid to play sport is a privilege. It's a real privilege. And so, maybe he does go back and play Amos and, the mistakes he's made, it's not just been one or two. There's been multiple now. How many chances do you get? But I feel for the females at Swan Districts Football Club. I'm really protective of the young Rogers girls down at Perth Demons, and to think of having someone like that at our club who doesn't even come from our club that we're giving an opportunity to. I understand he's a human, and I understand Swan Districts have done an amazing job in helping former athletes, Andrew Cracker, Sydney Stack, get back on their feet, but I'm just a little bit confused on why they want to help him.
Because he's not under their flag originally.
Because
like the
they
others
want
were.
him to use a premiership, to win a premiership.
Yeah. Because he's a talented player, not because he's a good human being. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's tricky, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll see how it all turns out for Swan Districts, but somebody's got to... Well, somebody doesn't have to do this. Somebody doesn't have to.
No, they don't have to.
But they've chosen to.
Yes.
And if their sponsors and that are okay with it, and they think that they can genuinely help this person, and that person obviously can help them with talent, take that out of the mix, then time will tell.
Yeah.
But something I would have probably bypassed if I was at the in charge myself.
Yeah. Thanks, Seabass.
Pleasure.
Good luck in your scratchy this weekend.
Thank you. Hopefully I make it.
Yeah, good luck, Seabass.
Shaun Sport is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.
2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Inaloo or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.